So I was digging through some old hobby stuff the other day, and I found this custom Space Marine I painted back in the early 2000s. The paint job's pretty rough, and it's definitely seen better days, but the colour scheme, black and red with white accents, actually still looked pretty sick. It kinda made me want to bring it back, but do it better this time. So for this video, I'm painting up a new Marine using that same old colour scheme, just with everything I've learned over the years. I know a lot of you have been asking for a Blood Angels tutorial for a while now, and I do actually have one. It's a free PDF guide I made a while back on my Patreon, mainly for airbrush users. I'll be loosely following that at the start to get the red armor down, before I branch off and turn it into the custom scheme we're working on today. Instead of using an airbrush though, I decided to try doing it with just a sponge. Alright, let's get into it. First up, I've got some dirty red on my wet palette, and this will be my base coat. If you're new to using a beauty blender like this, I always keep the sponge slightly damp, that way it thins the paint without needing to add extra water. It's easy to overthin though, so you don't want it too wet. Now I'll start base coating the entire model in dirty red, covering every area I can. The reason I'm doing this is to show how I'd approach painting a Blood Angel. Of course you don't have to do it this way. If you're doing multicolored panels, you can just focus on the areas that are staying red. But honestly, it doesn't really matter too much. It's really easy to paint black over red later if you need to. For any areas the sponge missed, I'll just swap to a large brush that has good coverage and quickly go over those spots. You can also cut up the sponge into smaller pieces if you want to reach tighter areas, but for me it was just easier to grab the brush. Now I've got a solid base coat down, I'll mix laser yellow with dirty red at about a 1:1 ratio, giving me a kind of pinkish orange tone. I'll sponge this mix onto the raised areas, focusing mostly on the top surfaces. Next, I'm using laser yellow on its own. I've also cleaned out the sponge first, just so there's no leftover paint messing with the colour. The reason I'm jumping up in brightness so quickly instead of building it up gradually is because the previous mix didn't turn out how I was expecting. I thought it would lean a lot more orange, but it actually ended up looking quite pink, which wasn't really the look I was aiming for. So now I'm applying laser yellow straight over the top of all the raised areas I hit earlier. The idea was to build it up slowly and bring out the brightness in a smooth transition. Normally, brighter colours like this don't have the best coverage and take heaps of passes to build up, but honestly, after just a few quick passes, it went from dark red to bright yellow insanely fast. I even second guessed myself, thinking maybe I'd grabbed the wrong paint, but it was definitely laser yellow. Quick side note, laser yellow isn't a true yellow, it's more of a bright greenish yellow with a slight green tint mixed in. In my PDF guide, I airbrushed laser yellow over a tenebrous grey base. The yellow shifted to green because of the dark base, which is what I wanted. Laying red over green kills some of the green, making the red look deeper and less pink. It's just a colour theory trick. But here, because the base coat is red instead of grey, the laser yellow stayed yellow and didn't shift green. It changed how the colour built up, but I just kept going with it. I was treating this like a slap chop airbrush method, but because I'm using a sponge instead, it ended up needing a slightly different approach. Again, that's why this whole thing was more of an experiment. I had no idea how the red would turn out, but you'll see it start coming together soon. Now I'm mixing ice yellow into laser yellow, about a 1:1 ratio. I'm doing a light dry brush over the raised areas. The reason I'm doing this now is to pre-highlight the edges. When I tint the whole model red later, these highlights will still show through. After dry brushing, I'll swap to a smaller brush and pick out a few sharper edges, mainly the ones facing upwards. Not every edge needs it, so I'll leave a lot of them. I'm targeting the edges, but if some of it spills onto other parts of the armour, it's not a big deal. In the next step, I'll be tinting the whole model red, and while it won't completely cover the highlights, it'll tone them down and make them less noticeable. At this point, it definitely looks different from my airbrushed version. That one had a greener tone, this one's looking more yellowish peach. Now to shift this marine from an Imperial Fist to a Blood Angel, I'm mixing Bloody Red with Ultra Matte Varnish. The mix is about 1 drop of Bloody Red to 4 or 5 drops of Ultra Matte. I'm doing this to tint the whole model red, almost like how a contrast paint works. It's a thin, transparent coat that stains everything red without losing the highlights underneath. Because I built up yellow earlier, the red stays rich and saturated instead of turning pink. If I'd used white highlights, it would have gone more pink, but the yellow counteracts that. I'm using ultra matte instead of a regular medium because I want the red parts of the armor to dry super matte, while the black parts later on will stay more satin. I'm applying it over the whole model, and I keep a bit of the mix aside in case I need to touch up anything later. When applying it, I tested both a sponge and a brush. I started off using a large brush to get more coverage, and it worked really well, smooth coat in one pass. I also tried the sponge, but it made the glaze go on really splotchy. I think the mix was just way too thin for the sponge, and the sponge was already damp, which made it worse. So I stuck with the brush for the rest of it, and got much cleaner results. I'm applying it over the whole model, and I keep a bit of the mix aside in case I need to touch up anything later. Now I'm blocking in all the black areas using Tenebros Grey. This is also where I'm starting to shift it from a Blood Angel into my own custom chapter. I'm painting the shoulder pads, legs and helmet in Tenebros Grey as well. Next I dry brush those black areas with Anthracite Grey, mainly focusing on the raised sections and even the flat panels a bit. Then I mix a little ice yellow into the Anthracite Grey to get a lighter shade, and do another highlight pass using lighter pressure. I also stipple some of this mix onto the raised areas, just to break up the surface a bit. This gives the black a bluish grey tone, so it still reads as black but has a cooler look to it. Now I'm base coating the areas I want white or light grey with warm grey, mainly the faceplate and the Aquila. I go back and grab a bit of that light blue-grey mix from earlier, and pick out some edges where the dry brush was unable to reach. Not all edges, just the ones facing upwards that would naturally catch the most light. After that I mix AK Black Wash and White Spirit at about a 1:1 ratio and give the whole model a wash. Once it's semi-dried, about 5 minutes later, I grab a clean sponge and start removing the wash from the flat surfaces, leaving it in the recesses. There's a small bit of White Spirit on the sponge to make the cleanup easier. Once the wash has dried, I mix Scarlet Red and Burnt Orange at a 1:1 ratio and add a bit of Laser Yellow to get a yellowy orange tone. I use this to highlight some of the red edges, mainly the ones facing upwards, the spots that would naturally catch the most light. I grab some bold titanium white and mix in a bit of the grey from earlier. I use this to highlight the faceplate and the Aquila, but also to add a few tiny dots and chips across the armour, mainly on the corners and edges where the paint would naturally wear off, and while I have the paint on my brush, I may as well base coat the eye lenses for later. I also use a bit of Tenebros Grey for extra chipping, just to add some more variation, still using whatever was left on the wet palette. I also wanted to increase the contrast on the gun. I mixed a bit of Anthracite Grey into Tenebros Grey, then I painted it onto the top of the gun casing to brighten up the flat surface where the light would catch. I also painted the metallics with a dark silver. Once I was happy with the tone, I gave the gun a black wash to tie everything together. For the eyes, I thinned down some slime green and glazed that over the top for a glowing effect. After that, I take a darker green, I think it was lizard green, and glaze it into the lower parts of the eyes to give it some OSL. Off camera, I added some freehand markings onto the armour, loosely based on what I had on the original model. Then to finish off the weathering, I use a dark grey wash and apply it to the lower parts of the red armour. This isn't a traditional wash, it's more like painting it onto those areas to create a tone shift. It goes from rich red at the top to a faded dark blue at the bottom. If I need to, I can blend it out with a bit of White Spirit, but honestly I didn't find it necessary here. To tie everything together, I mix ultramatte varnish and a little satin varnish, about a 2:1 ratio. I brush this onto the black elements only. It gives the black a slight sheen, making it stand out against the matte red armor. And there it is, a relic of the past brought back to life with some new techniques and tricks I've learnt along the way. My final thoughts are, even though this wasn't exactly how I first pictured it turning out, I was aiming for a bit more green under the red. I'm still happy with how the red came up in the end. There's a lot of ways you can approach painting red. This is just one path that got me there. It could easily be done differently, maybe even simpler, but at the end of the day, if it looks good, it looks good. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, shoot them down below. If you like this sort of content, please like and subscribe. And a huge thank you to my Patreons. You guys are incredible. See you next time.